So as someone who's always had an interest in technology, I've always thought about trying out Linux and seeing like what my other options are in terms of an operating system. And after Windows 11 came out, I really don't like it that much. Like, it's fine. Like, I don't think it's as bad as people say it is, but it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't know, I'm just not a big fan of it. I don't like how, like, the updated menus look. I don't like how, like, the new start menu is. There's just so much about it that I really don't like, and the only way around some of these things is to, like, pay for plugins that'll fix it for you. And as a cheap bitch, I don't want to pay extra money just to make Windows, which already costs money, better. So I decided I'm going to try out Linux. Now, there are a couple things that have been keeping me from trying it in the past. Like, I've installed it before, I've used it for a little bit, and I'm just like, nah, this is not it. A lot of it has to do with, like, the Adobe Creative Cloud not being available on Linux, and that's something I use very frequently. But then, after thinking about it a little bit more, like, when I do stuff on Photoshop or, like, Illustrator or something, it's either on my iPad or it's on my laptop. So it's not one of those things where, like, I like need it in order to, like, be creative, I guess. On my PC, at least. And honestly, my PC I mainly use more so for, like, playing games and stuff anyways. So it's not, like, one of those things where it, like, really, like, makes a huge difference whether or not I'm in Windows or Linux. I kind of just want a solid experience regardless of which platform I'm on. So today I decided that I am going to try out Linux and just see how I feel about it. Some of the things I want out of Linux before I decide on like what distro I want to use, I want something that has like a simple desktop environment. So one of the ones that I've looked into a lot is like the GNOME or GNOME desktop environment, which looks a lot like macOS to me. And honestly, as someone who really likes macOS, I think that one would be very nice to use. Obviously, like that's pretty much the only one I've tried before. Haven't really tried out any of the other ones that are like more like resemblant of Windows, but I want to give that a try. I want to see how it works out. I also don't want to play games with any major bugs, and I think part of what kept me from doing it in the past is that I used to play a lot of Valorant, and Valorant is only available on Windows, and I'm pretty sure that even if you could get the app running on Linux, because of like the anti-cheat and everything, like you wouldn't be able to actually play the game. But also, I don't really play that much Valorant anymore, and I guess like if I really wanted to, I could always just keep Windows installed on my computer and then just boot into it just to play Valorant. But it's not one of those things where it like really makes a huge difference to me anymore. A lot of the games I enjoy playing more so are like the single player games. Like I like Shadow of the Tomb Raider, or like the Tomb Raider games in general. I like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I occasionally, like every 6 months, I play The Sims. And like, you know, Minecraft. Like, those are like the games that I play more so. And I don't really need to worry about like the anti-cheat getting in the way. The only game that I do sometimes play, besides Valorant, that I would also need to keep Windows for is Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. But that is more so like when my friends are bored and they want to play Black Ops, so it's not really like a huge factor to me because like I haven't played it in like months. And then also mainly I just want to like get away from using Windows because there's a lot about Windows that I don't like. I don't like that when you search it sends you to Bing. I don't like the Windows search in general. I'm not a huge fan of the Windows 11 desktop environment, and I don't know, I just feel like I want to try something new and just see like what my other options are. So there are two main distros that I really looked at that I was like thinking about trying out. One of them is Pop! OS. Pop! OS is just one of the more popular ones that I've seen. From what I know at least, I know that it's built on Ubuntu, and I feel like I've heard things about Ubuntu being very easy for beginners, and everything I've seen about Pop! OS, it just seems like it's one of those more easy to pick up Linux distros. Also, one of the nice things about Pop! OS is that it does have built-in NVIDIA drivers, which I do have an NVIDIA graphics card, so it's like one of those things where it's like, it'll help simplify the process, basically. And then the other one that I was looking at was Manjaro. Manjaro, I think it looks very nice. I think it has multiple options for different like desktop environments. Like they have GNOME, and then they also have like ones that more so resemble Windows. I think the one problem with me wanting to try Manjaro and using it like daily is that it is built on Arch, which I don't know if you guys know anything about Linux, but from what I've seen in my own experience, it just seems like it's a little bit harder for beginners, I guess. And I'm pretty good with technology, but for Linux, I'm a beginner, and I don't want to like run into a lot of obstacles. So I just want something that's simple and works and does pretty much what I want it to do. So between those two distros, I think I'm going to be choosing Pop! OS. And if you're wondering what the PC I'm running it on is going to be, it is a Ryzen 7 5800X. It has a 3080, 32 gigs of RAM. It's a pretty nice computer. I don't think I'll run into any like performance issues with it, but I am expecting some bugs when I'm starting to learn how to like play games on it. And the good part is I already made a little USB key for it, so I think it's time that we can install it. We have run into our first problem. So immediately the boot key that I made wasn't working. So I'm going to try and go back into Windows and try to make another one, I guess. I don't know. That already though, it's so annoying. This is one of the things that stopped me in the first place from trying this. Okay, so I think it might be a little bit more of a learning curve, but I think I'm just going to try Manjaro. Like I'm techie, I can learn how to do something on Manjaro, I think. Hopefully. Let's just hope for the best, I guess. Because Pop! OS doesn't seem to want to work. And it's saying it can't make the boot media because my RGB software is open. Duh. Okay, so we're in an OS now. I don't like that I just automatically turned on like the color temperature shift thingy. I forget what it's called, but you guys know what I mean. Like the night mode where it like changes your computer to orange. Like it's 3:30 in the afternoon. I don't need that on. And I don't even use it at night anyways. So it's like I'm like very confused what's happening right now because oh, it's been on the other screen this whole time. That is let me make this my default screen. Yeah, I was so lost. I don't know. That was annoying. Okay, we are installed. So it's been a little bit since I recorded the last bit of this video, and there were a few things that happened between me filming that and me actually starting to use Linux that kind of made me want to rip my head off, that I kind of just wanted to document real quick. The first thing was, in Manjaro, I couldn't figure out how to do per display scaling. So basically I have a 4K monitor and I have a 1440p monitor, but on Windows it's so easy just to make the scaling look the same. So it's not like one screen has stuff that's super small and then one screen has stuff that's super large. For whatever reason in Manjaro, I just wasn't able to figure that out, and I inevitably just re-downloaded Pop! OS. I don't know why it wasn't working in Manjaro. I don't know, like, if I was doing something wrong. I don't know, like, if I just wasn't doing if I just wasn't doing something I was supposed to be doing. It was just very weird that wasn't something that just worked, I guess. And I guess I'm just, like, kind of spoiled because, like, I'm used to Mac OS and Windows where everything just kind of works. But it seems like such a dumb thing to not have work. But then when I reinstalled Pop! OS, everything worked fine pretty much. Like, it's a very nice, clean user interface, and I do like how it looks. For the most part, I've only really been using, like, Chrome and stuff, so it's not really anything where it's like I'm blown away yet or anything. It just kind of feels like a normal user experience, which is good. I will say something that I did notice is that some of the colors between Windows and Pop! OS on the same monitor looked off. Like, things just didn't seem super color accurate when I would use Linux, but then when I would use Windows or Mac, it would, even if it was on, like, the same monitor. And that was something that didn't really make much sense to me. I don't know how well it will show up on camera, but it was just like the colors were just off. But overall, I think for people who just need, like, a basic user interface, maybe they're not gaming. I haven't tried gaming yet, so I'm not gonna, like, give any, like, gamer thoughts on it. But for people who need, like, a basic user interface, I think using something like Pop! OS would be fine for those people. That being said, there is still a lot more that I do want to try out in Linux. I still want to try out gaming. I want to not just do Steam, I want to do, like, Origin and, like, other games. I want to try emulation. There's definitely things I want to try out, but it's something that I still kind of need to, like, figure out and, like, dabble in. And then, of course, I'll be making more videos about me trying out Linux as we move on. So that was pretty much it for this video, guys. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you guys give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you guys are notified whenever I post new videos. I know I haven't posted a video in a long time, but I'm trying to be more consistent now, and I'm hoping that I can get back into it. I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.